No, but we'll take questions.
Sure, I will take some questions from the audience now. Anybody have any questions? Yes.
Oh.
So you said this movie was 6 years in the making. What inspired you to start creating it, and what was it that took so long in the process?
What inspired us was a bottle of whiskey. And in fact, we both had an idea to make a short film. And I'm going not to talk about all the 6 years of process. But basically it took so long because it was not that easy to make from a short film a feature film, then finding a way to collaborate and finding a way where the humor and everything, that is all the cultural differences we needed to talk about. So that was a very long process. And then the editing part was also a very long process to make it work, really work. So that's why it took us 6 years.
I think also the other thing is the star there you saw, basically COMRADE Kim Goes Anja Daelemans. She, last week I was in Pyongyang and she was still performing as an acrobat. She works as an acrobat, and so a lot of, there's all sorts of things that sort of held us from the whole process of actually working with North Koreans. Anja's the filmmaker. I've been 20 years in and out of North Korea most months. And then on top of that, we've got this amazing woman, Gwang-Hun, our producer, and the three of us made this incredible sort of team to which then everything sort of was flung into. And we then, what was quite interesting for a long time, we actually couldn't find a film studio to make the film. It wasn't what people say, oh, it must be the government. What about the government problems? It wasn't. We've always been dealing with filmmakers in North Korea. And the biggest problem we had was actually getting someone to make the script, finding a director who believed in the story. And it wasn't until we almost gave in, and then Gwang-Hun left this script in this sort of warm room on a cold day, in the waiting room of the office she works, and she watched people read the script. And when one person came up to her and said, I really do like this script, can you tell me what happens in the end? She then decided again to go into the studios, and we found a director at the military studio who used to make war films, and the result was that he just said, okay, well, you know, we will work on it. So it was an amazing sort of array of coincidences, but yeah, a long effort.
Any other question? Yes, the males have. Yeah.
Sorry. Have your two main stars seen the film, and what has been their reaction?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Have either of the two main stars seen the film, and if so, what has been their reaction?
We haven't actually. I'm off to Pyongyang. We've got really lovely bit of news. There's two things that I think Anja and I would almost. This film is about girl power, so it's very much related about this girl, Han Jung-sim, and there's two big pieces of news that recently happened. We've been accepted for the Cannes of the East, which is basically Pyongyang International Film Festival, you all have heard of. But even more remarkable yesterday was that we heard that we've been accepted for Busan Film Festival. So this is going to be a film that's shown in Korea, the peninsula. So that's, for us, so, as you will know, or may not know, that an email, this is like an office in North Korea here, so if an email arrives from Anja to me in the office, and I'm part with you, the email literally comes, email from Ekbana, and so you will all read that email. So it's quite difficult for communication when you're outside the country. But what we actually found sneaked in with this, and I've actually got a letter I'll read to you now, but I know that Gwang-Hun actually, the lady we produced the film with, actually sort of sneaked into an email, what's going on in Toronto? You know, what's happening? And so we managed to sort of reply and saying it's all going well. But Anja is just going to bring out, we've got a letter. So we haven't shown the film in Pyongyang. Anja literally came running off the aeroplane 5 days ago with the actual film, the digital film, and delivered it on the day. So you're the first gang to see it. This is the letter. So this is actually to you, dear committee members of Toronto International Film Festival, respected international jury members, audience, and friends. First of all, I'm very happy that our film, which many people from England and Belgium were involved in making and completing it, will be screened at Toronto International Film Festival. Starring in the film was as if I was retelling my real life in front of the camera, and because of that, the whole film gave me a pleasant experience and great fun. I'm not a film actress, I am an aerialist. This is my first film, and the film that I played the leading role is now presented at an international film festival with a little exclamation mark. This makes me and the whole circus truly proud and happy. I hope this film about us aerialists gets as good as result at the end of the festival, and I also hope it'll be loved by the audience all over the world. I'd like to thank our film producers Nick and Anja for giving me such an amazing opportunity to show my life and my country through the film. I hope whoever sees our film gets to see more of aerial acrobatics on the world stage. Thank you. So that's an answer to your question.
Yes.
Are all the workers in North Korea that happy with their jobs?
So we made a fiction feature film and a documentary, so it's although the grass is never as green as you see it, the skies are never as blue as you see it, so it's live action.
Yes.
How difficult is it to obtain permission to shoot on various locations, especially the countryside? Also, did you receive any on-the-spot guidance of Kim Jong-il or Kim Jong-un?
I'm going to pose this question to Nick because I was only 2 days on the shooting in the circus.
Again, sort of coming back to the most surprising thing about this was writing. The first thing was to get a script that they would accept. That was the biggest hiccup, is that we couldn't get this script sold. And there's a little bit more in that story. That the reason why the director took it was that his father was a director and had made a film with our producer's father, who had been a cinematographer. So that got us that first hurdle, and the film studio said, okay, we will make the film. So from then on, permissions, once you're into film, you can have permissions like nothing on it and nothing on earth. You can go anywhere and do anything. It's like anywhere. Everywhere we went filming, Hong Kil-dong, Ri Soo-hyun, he is like the I'm going to steal her line, she's going to hate me for this, but he is the George Clooney of North Korea. That man is a star in North Korea. So he turns up. The problem you've actually got is just like any shoot anywhere. You've got crowds of people with now mobile phones, and you're telling them, will you shut up, we're filming. And this is one of the first films in North Korea. There was an experiment earlier on, but actually it is the first film to have synchronized sound. So no problem with that. We also didn't go up that high. This film, remember, was made 6 years ago, was started 6 years ago. It was before the change of leadership in North Korea, and we really kept out of everything. And perhaps, you know, you have to understand this is the unusual thing with this film. And going back to this gentleman's question, this is a story of a young girl fulfilling her dream to fly. Now, you look at it again and you sort of think that there's all sorts of interesting things, that the workers, when they're complaining about being workers, you know, we're working class. It's not against working class against this system, against your system. It's working class against the people in the big city. You know, that's what it's against. That's what's so exciting. And this is a story of a young girl who sort of goes against her father's wishes and really uses her cheekiness and her guile to get where she is. And the nasty lad, Jang Phil, the big strong man, falls in love with her because of her beauty and her attitude. And I think that's what's so special. So that's sort of, you get two questions in one there.
Yes. In order for the script to be approved, did you have to sort of put in the political stuff that there was? I mean, saying you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for us. It's for the workers. It's for, because it was kind of political.
Yeah, again, this is how it'd be very interesting to see how a North Korean looks at it. I asked my North Korean friend, is this political? Is it propaganda? And this is the answer, the absolute 100% answer from Yong Mil-ha. She looked and she said, it's the story of a girl who dreams of flying. And to them, that's what it is. Now to you, I can sort of understand that you sort of look at this and you hear all this, but in fact what it is, it's working class. It's as if it was, I think you had there's some other films that you will all know of where it's you know, us, we are the working class, coal miner's daughter, you know, we are the working. That's what they're saying. It's more of a sort of, we are the labour class going against these lads in the city. And so it really depends what perspective you're looking at. And certainly from a North Korean perspective, this film is without anything. But from us, of course, it's a very different language. But the lovely thing is, I think for us it was very important to keep it true to a North Korean film as well. It is a North Korean film. It will be accepted there. It is something that has that feeling. Now, we've been told that by various people who we've met so far. So we stayed within that. We didn't want to, Anja will explain that better. She did.
You already stole my line once, so I'm just telling everything, and I think you're doing great. It's your native English, not mine. But the biggest struggle that we have was during the script writing and also doing the editing, what we absolutely didn't want to do was make, put our Western influence into the North Korean movie, like to say, no, it doesn't work, it's not like that. That's something what we try to avoid. So that was very hard work, because dreams are universal, love is universal, humor, it's not always universal, but we try to find some humor that is universal. And if you try and talk and talk and talk with respect to each other and try to understand each other, then a lot you can achieve.
Next question. Any other question? Yes.
Can you explain the dresses that are white on top and black or navy on the bottom, and why 50% of the women have them on?
Yeah, the extras that we used were actually, like in the coal mine and all that, they were coal miners, and in the steel work, a lot of those guys with rather interesting dentition are steel workers. With the dresses, they're student dresses. The blue and white ones are student dresses. So they're actually very common. You get those from kids from sort of 17 up to the early 20s. And then they have the sort of rather flouncy ones made out of nylon, not actually silk, other sort of more the chosunbok. And there's an interesting thing is in North Korea these are called chosunbok, and in South Korea they're called hanbok. There's a different language for the country itself, but traditional dress is pretty similar. And I adore that scene with, I think, the naivety and this beauty of things we've lost, like hand-holding. We had some pretty serious hand-holding. There's never been a kiss in North Korean cinema, except once, which was behind an umbrella, so I'm told. But yeah, we were a little bit worried if we're going to get had to have X-rated remarks for having shown you serious hand-holding. But I get this lovely thing again, the sort of sexuality there. I think what you've seen there is incredible sexuality with that dancing. You know, that's pretty hot stuff. That's pretty racy. And then the other thing, the lovely things that so I'll probably wind up, but just to make you realise just how I think it was remarkable that this film, and it comes back to a question that we didn't write. Andy tells us we didn't write a script thinking, let's have a script with cement mixing. It's not something that would ever strike us as a. We also didn't come up with the idea of bribing your way into the, using the bread ticket. We also didn't come up with the line, "You don't take no for an answer." So I don't know. I think Anja and I would leave you with something like that. Perhaps it's a film that when you go back, have a think about. Because, and then if you want to go and watch, there's a place called, I think, North Korea Books, where you can buy North Korean films. Have a look at those if you want to see the difference. And Anja and I would really welcome, if you want to contact us, the website's going to be COMRADEKIMGOESFLYING.com. Give us a shout in 4 weeks and we'll tell you how we've been received, because I think it's going to be, the next 4 weeks of our lives, after waiting 6 years, is going to be pretty stunning. So from me, thank you. Oh, there's a, oh, nice. Yeah.